Hi, everyone. I'm really excited today. I have the amazing opportunity of talking to author Robin Lythgoe. She has been writing forever, maybe not forever, but for a long time. And she's got several books out. And I'm really excited, Robin, that you took the time to talk to us today. And it's just an honor and a fun time to be able to have this chat with you.
I'm super excited that you asked me to join you. This is fun.
I love it. We've already been having a good time chatting before we started recording, so we're having a good time. So I wanted to start. You have this really interesting character in your first book. So I'd love you to tell us about him just as a starter.
The character in my first book, that would be Crow.
Right.
He is a thief with attitude. He is snarky and fairly egotistical, and the gods love him so much.
I think a bunch of readers like snarky, egotistical characters now. That snark is in.
He's been pretty popular. Yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. So does he have like a defining moment in the books, or maybe he has a whole bunch of little moments that just make him amazing?
It would be a whole bunch. He's always making remarks. He talks to himself a lot, so he's always remarking or thinking about the way other people do things.
Okay.
And he's not very kind.
I have to read this. I think I need to get this done. So he likes to, keep a running commentary on what everyone else is doing.
He does.
So maybe not the person you want in a best friend, right?
I don't think so, no. And he ends up having to go on a quest with the lawman who has been chasing him for years.
Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. So I'm guessing the two of them have a really special relationship.
Oh, special, yes.
Well, that is awesome. And so now, did you do more than one book? He's in two books now, isn't he?
I am working on the second one right now.
Awesome.
And if things go as I planned, then it will be published in June.
That's great. June is soon, right? It's already May.
Just next month.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm trying to get my second book done. And so I know how deadlines just creep up so badly, don't they?
I think the minute I set a real deadline, everything else happens. So I can't actually meet the deadline. So I always hate to announce that there's a deadline.
So you don't want to tell anyone. You have it in your mind. I love it. I love it. So tell us the title of the original book. I can't remember. I know I looked it up.
As the Crow Flies.
As the Crow Flies. Awesome. So we've got to check that one out. And we'll leave everybody a link at the end of our interview so they can find it. And give them some more information too. Do you have a title for the new one yet?
I do. It's called Crow's Nest.
Awesome.
We're sticking with the crow theme.
That's good. I think that's awesome. You've got the character in there. I can't wait to read it. I'm going to have to check it out. So
I hear what you think about it.
we were talking about how long you've been writing. Do you want to tell everyone that?
Since before I could actually use a pencil.
So you like to tell stories even before you could actually.
My oldest sister was my scribe for my first story about a bunny. I really don't remember it, but I remember it being about a bunny.
Awesome. So the bunny had all sorts of adventures and.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So even before you.
It was like in the second grade, and I wrote about a tiger in the zoo, and it was funny. It was just funny. And
do you still have a copy?
I do, somewhere. My teacher liked it so much that she sent me to another classroom to read, which kind of was tricky because I really don't like being in front of people. It was easier.
We were talking about that.
Yes.
You love to write, but you don't love to perform in front of people or speak in front of people.
I do not.
Well, we don't have to see any of the people that'll be watching this, so don't worry. It's just
I was thinking about wearing a bag over my head today, but hot and stuffy under that thing. So.
That's right. That's right. And we're happy to see you. So don't even worry. There's nobody here but me.
Until tomorrow.
Right. So you've had some real obstacles, in your life and with your writing in the last several months. I know that might be a little bit.
The last couple of years, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know that might be a little bit difficult to talk about, but if you want to share a little bit about it.
My husband was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Mm-hmm.
at the end of 2017. Like on my birthday, day after my birthday or something. It was not fun. But he ended up retiring the following March, and I was his sole caretaker, and he went downhill pretty fast. So it was really difficult to write at that time because I was just busy taking care of him and focused on him, and it takes a
And
lot more time than sometimes you think it might.
and the weight of some of these, heavier problems are
Mhm.
just there. I don't know. I think for me that just makes it hard to, let your imagination be free.
It is. Well, it's kind of like you're struggling with two people's problems.
Hmm.
I'm not want to say that ALS is a problem. I was glad to take care of him,
But
but it was
that's a terrible
hard.
disease.
And then I
That's
had to worry about selfishly myself, taking care of me during the time I'm taking care of him,
hmm
and then what comes after. So
right.
it's been a journey.
And it's been kind of, I mean, we've talked a little bit about just trying to get back into the writing and get back in the saddle and back into the promoting and back into that world. Has that been hard to jump back into?
It really has. I was so excited, and that sounds really terrible, but I was excited that I would actually have this time of being able to just write. I have no one to answer to but myself now. And
Hmm.
it's amazingly difficult. I struggle with it every day, and I'm making progress with it. I've actually, got the book finished and I'm in the rewrites. And
That's
actually,
awesome.
I've got one major rewrite on it, and then I'm into the editing, and I've started the editing a little bit. So,
That's great. So you are moving forward,
oh,
and the Crow's Nest is the one that's going to be released in hopefully just a few weeks now.
right.
That'll be great. I think everyone will be really excited to see that one.
Not as excited as I am.
Well, I feel like to you, it just represents like a big step forward and,
Yeah,
opening a new chapter of your life.
it does.
That is awesome.
I kind of think of myself as a character in a book because, what do you do after your husband dies?
You have to kind of start fresh
Not
or,
like your life
well,
actually ends there. And I was talking to my sister-in-law about it. It's like, this is a new chapter in my life, and I want to see what
it
the
is.
main character is going to do next. So
And it's difficult to make that transition. Like it's a whole new, I mean, just everything changes in your life.
every single thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we wish you the best as you go forward. That's just a big challenge, but we're excited that you've dived back into the writing. That's going to be really cool. So
Hey, I
what
have so many stories to write. I have
I
to get
was going to ask what you have planned next.
Yes, next I'm getting back to the other characters, my other series, and I will
Uh-huh.
probably stick with that for a while.
Okay. Do you have several books planned or
Oh, a lot of, but yeah. Mhm.
you don't have to do them all at
I'll
once. Don't
probably
worry.
spend the rest of my life on him.
There was one other fun thing we were talking about. We were talking about going, a lot of people that give writing advice tell you not to go back and rework your old stuff. They tell you to just start fresh and go forward. And I've
Mhm.
always felt that, I have some old stories that are still living in in my files that I'd really like to resurrect. So do you want to talk about that for a minute?
I don't think we should just let them collect dust. I think that writing them the first time was a fantastic experience for us. We are learning as we write. We are perfecting our craft. And my first novel will never be published, not the way it is.
But we were talking about how we can go back to the first one and
Right.
like redo
So
it.
my plan is that you go back and reread the book and then put it away for a little while, just a little while, and
Mhm,
then just start the story from scratch. You've still
mhm.
got the characters fresh in your mind, and you know kind of what you wanted to say, but you're not burdened by all of the details that we really get wrapped up in. They're personal and they're ours and precious, and we want to keep them. So don't look at them.
If you go back and you read through it and you're like, oh, don't
So
quit my
good.
day
This
job.
is
Don't
so
quit my day job.
good.
Don't do that. But if you go back and you're like, this has some really good moments,
Even if
then
you
you can
don't
rewrite,
fit.
right? So do you have a favorite part of your Crow books? Do you have like do you have a spot that's your particular favorite?
I can't really say because that's giving things away.
Okay,
No
so she does,
spoilers.
but she won't tell us now. Okay.
Spoilers. I just Crow says the most awful things about people, but he says it in really funny ways.
It
And
sounds it sounds great. It sounds entertaining.
okay, one of my favorite things, and this isn't a spoiler, his very favorite thing in the world to do is to go into a crowded place and start rearranging personal possessions.
I love it. So
He's
no,
not, he's
he's
not
a
going to take
pickpocket,
anything
right?
necessarily. He's just going to, yeah, he's a pickpocket extraordinaire, among other things. But he will go into a crowd and start moving things from one pocket to another just to see what happens.
So like at the end of this interview, we'd have one of each earring on. We'd
Right.
switch our earrings. That'd be
Yeah.
perfect. I love it. So you come out and you have the other person's wallet and they have your glasses, and that sounds really
Whatever he
entertaining.
sees that he can lift, he will move it.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to tell everybody where they can get the book and give them a little bit more information. Is there anything else you want to say to everybody before we wrap up?
Read my books. You'll love them.
Great. Read her books. You will love them. Okay.
No
Awesome.
author has ever said that ever, right?
Never. That's the first. It's a news. I'm just kidding. No, that's great. I'm excited to read them now after having talked to you and gotten to know you a little bit. I think I'm really going to enjoy them.
Well, I hope you do. I hope you do.
Well,
I
we'll
have fun writing them.
We'll talk more. I've asked your advice on a lot of things, so that'll be good. Well, thanks for taking the time to share with us, and we'll be looking at all of your books, and we'll be waiting to see what you come up with in the next few months and years, and I'm sure it's going to be wonderful.
Well, thank you, and thanks so much for inviting me to take part in this. I sure appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and we'll see everyone later.
Bye-bye.